Hey, what's up? All right. How you guys doing? Today is interesting. So I wanted to you can see the music I'm listening to. Let me anyone else like Final Fantasy 7? It's very, very solemn. All right. Today I'm gonna start. So I have a side project where I'm doing a little bit of I need to be able to generate code and make it nice without my involvement. If you catch my drift. So I have something where I'm generating functionality with an LLM, and we're going to use Mistral. So today we're making let's call it a an auto fixer, an X auto fixer. So like really, it's actually super basic. All it is, it's we're gonna just run on a dev loop where we have a task, simple task, where it's gonna write code. And then after it writes the code, it's going to execute the code. After it executes the code, it's going to get the possible errors or no errors. And if there's no errors, then we can also test the code to see if it's a good output that we would want. And but if there are errors, if errors, like I just keep indenting here. All right, so if errors, we're going to go and feed those errors back into the model, the LLM, to execute the original task again. Pretty much, I mean, it's pretty basic. We're just making something that that does a task, and we don't even need to do a task. We can just write our own code. It auto fixes it, gives us the new code, and then we try to execute that, and then we just keep telling the LLM what it did wrong until it gets it right. But I want to do something because what really I want to make like a nice sandbox environment. Uh, that's sort of the main thing I'm trying to do today. Is like I need a sandboxing environment because I'm really trying to figure out if I can have an application that can write functionality that can be used by an end user. And I'm using this as a means to pilot that because I have a greater project that I've been talking about on the streams that this is a little bit in. 2024 is going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very fun. Let me, if you're not having fun building stuff in 2024, then I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. All right, let's do this. So, first things first. Let's get at it. It's so funny. Sometimes I'll have like let me get sometimes I'll have like other people's code. There should be a term for other people's code, OPC, like other people's money. Sometimes I'll have other people's code just like loaded here, and I'm like, fuck. And I'm like quickly just trying to get rid of it. All right. So go and there needs to be another meme because I did a lot of 10x, like my projects were mostly 10x before. Now I'm like, should I still use 10x for every project? Maybe the meme's dead. Does anyone even believe in 10x anymore? We kind of know it's not a thing anymore. All right, let's load this up. Sublime is like freaking out. You know why? I have like a bajillion projects. Hold on a second. Let me touch. auto fixer. It's gonna be super simple because I want to also experiment with Mistral's code writing capabilities. Like I don't fully know how good it is yet. Because I'm gonna. By the way, I'm not using their API yet. I got off the wait list, luckily, but the credit, like I need to like call my bank or something. Like they were like, oh, you need to like have your bank accept a certain type of like recurring payment. And I was like, I, it's like it's just Stripe. Like I don't know why it's French. It's French people. It's really it's what it is. That's all you have to say. It's really all you have to say with that. By the way, first things first. Actually, no, let's do this later. So really, I'm gonna set up a basic Python file. So this is like when I'm like starting up a project, I'll do this. I'll lazily write some a strategy. It's like okay, first step, lazily write a strategy. So okay, you want a guide to writing cool projects. First step, lazily write a guide to the project. That's the first thing. Okay, so number one, lazily write a guide to the project, to how you're going to attack the project, to the attack. Two, scaffold the code and make the files. Three, write shitty code for like 2 hours. Don't test anything. This is kind of how I actually work. I'm not thinking about it. It's like don't test anything for 2 hours. Just write. Okay, so do that. Okay, so don't test anything, and then after you don't test anything, test and pray. If nothing, if it works, you're 10x. So actually, I think the 10x is legit. I think the 10x is coming back. The 10x is coming back. Isn't it supposed to be open source, like fully? What's open source? You talking about Mistral? Yeah, they're open source. Yeah, yeah. But like they have you can pay for their platform. Yeah, they have like an API you can use to pay for. So like, but yeah, I gotta like call those French people, see what's up. I was like, I was like so excited too when I got off the wait list, and they're like, oh, we don't like accept like you have to like do something special with your card for reoccurring payment. And I'm like, I gotta call the bank. Yeah, Mistral's open source. I thought in order to use the model in a collab, you gotta pay. Oh, yeah, yeah. Open source doesn't mean free. Open source just means you can see the code. Um, but like when I use it on a collab, so when I use Mistral on the collab, like it's not when I use any model here, I'm not paying because the collab costs a certain amount of money for to just use the GPU on it to do any sort of execution. There's like code compute units which cost money. Uh, so really, yeah. I mean, it's technically free to just download it and run it locally, though. I just don't have a GPU. So, but yeah, this is how you. Oh yeah, so if it works, you're 10x. And then if you're 10x, you can continue working. That's what I said. Even though you were using it on a code, you got to pay a fee for. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. No, but that wouldn't be fully open source, though. So like, okay, like the open source doesn't matter when it comes to free, though. and paid. I see what you're saying. So, oh yeah, and then if you're like, I'm just making random bullet points. So if you're not 10x, you have to stop the project and go home. This is really all you need to do to like to make a be a successful software engineer. It's really it. So it's like first write cool projects. First, lazily write a guide to the attack, your approach. Two, scaffold the code and make the files. I just said make the files and outline the files. Three, write shitty code for like 2 hours and don't test any of it. And then test and pray. If it works, first try, you're 10x. If you're 10x, these are sub points here. This is 5A, and this is 5B. If you're 10x, you continue working. If you're not 10x, you have to stop the project and go home. If you're already home, oh yeah, this is a 5 BA. If you're already home, then I'm not gonna say it. Then you know what to do. Okay. My face when I thought the SAM model was really open source was just open weight and no classification. The SAM model, what is that? I don't even know what that is. Yeah, open weight isn't the same because I think Mistral is also open code, like literally open source. Like I think so. I actually don't know. Oh, the segment anything. Right. Yeah. So many like new things. So many new things. All right. So, by the way, I want to make sure no one can hear my music, right? Because I don't want to. Like, I have ads now, which is hilarious. I'm officially partnered. I'm a business partner to big tech, officially. So I'm no longer cool. So I want to announce that I have ads. So like I realized like I can't like the monetization kind of matters, I guess. But also it doesn't because I'll probably make like 5 cents. So maybe it doesn't matter. Okay. So anyway, this is how you write code. This is obviously how you write code. Okay. Anyway, actually though, let's start writing. So by the way, if you for Lucas and Reed, if you're just joining, I'm pretty much just making something that you give it a simple task. Actually, it doesn't. I don't really want this to just you generate the code first. I want to just say you have some Python code. I don't want it to generate Python code in the beginning. I just want it to do the fixing. But you have some Python code. Now having a partner is really cool. Yeah. And so you have some Python code, and then it executes the code. Or how are you going to define 10x to Mistral 7 billion? Interesting. Yeah, I have to tell Mistral that you have to generate the code like your 10x. Interesting. I didn't think about that. Thank you. Okay, so execute the code, get the possible errors. So if there's errors, I need to get that output. I need to get the standard error. I need to get the standard output, and I need to do something with it. And I need to feed that back to Mistral so that they can fix the code, assuming that this code made these errors, and change the code based on that, and just have a loop where I'm executing the code with the errors and yada yada yada. Yeah, I gotta really verify. I gotta be like, hey, Mistral, this has to be 10x. 10x snippet examples. I just pull code from the Linux kernel repo. Yeah, just only Linus writes 10x code. That's what they don't tell you. That's what they don't tell you. Okay. What oh yeah. I'm doing something. Okay. It's like I'm ready. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna need sub process. And I'm gonna need probably some write requests. Let's do the classes. Python 3. Get a virtual environment going. Get a virtual environment going. Oh yeah, I did want to. So, you know what's the interesting thing? I did want to talk about the 2024 AI predictions. I did want to talk about that. That's fascinating because, like, I don't know. There's so much possibility that can happen. Like right now, I think we've only scratched the surface with all this L stuff. Well, you know what it is. I think the main thing I think is developers. The idea of a software developer is going to be entirely different, and that's good because right now it's not efficient. And I don't mean like we're going to have a ton of AI writing being software developers, but I think the process is going to be totally different. I think we'll see developer tools change a lot. And I think there's going to be something, yeah, build. Yeah. There's going to be something different when it comes to, I think the end user is going to have more, there's going to be some tooling that comes out where the end users have more control over their experience. Because right now, like there's this issue where, so what Apple and what Meta and all these companies are really good at is getting the user to not think, mostly because being able to make the product exactly what you want it to be requires so much like tuning that people don't want. People want the most simple, stupid, dumb thing. But I think with AI, we can get to a place where that starts to steer in a different direction where the users can actually tune software more. Let's talk about that a little later. I can talk about it as I'm writing this, but that's the big thing. That's what I've been thinking about a lot is software tuning. And I mean like nothing. I like they don't have to do anything. They just like it could be a prompt just to tune the software. All right. That's also related to my big project, but that's I have that prediction and I know people working on that. So uh, I mean, I've been working on this for like a couple of years. To be honest, I'm waiting for far from Meta is the model built. Wait, what? I'm waiting for from Meta. Oh, all I'm waiting for dude, my brain is like not working yet. So Lucas says all I'm waiting for Meta is the model built off of Sam. That's way more specific and writes instructions on visuals. Nice. Yeah, I haven't used any segment anything, such as how to build a bike well. That'd be interesting if it could visually sort of break down the objects of like real things. Because if you have a bike, there's a ton of sub objects within that bike that it's probably really hard to like even spokes. Well, that's like a very basic thing because that visually looks so distinct. I think about all the smaller components um, on a bike. It's like eventually, if you could actually reverse engineer things with some sort of SAM like model, then that would be if they were able to push that model to like to be able to just like reverse engineer something. Yeah, they have paper on it already, but it's a really small data set. Yeah, that's really cool. I think all the internet's going to drown in information. We're probably headed towards more specialized single person islands of tools in the internet. I think so. Job view. I mean, there's still going to be the masses, right? But I think that's probably going to happen for the most part. All right. So what are my classes going to be? What are my classes going to be? Now the LLM interface. I'm going to have you have like a code runner. Kind of it. Kind of it. The code runner is going to be doing. Hey, what's up, Freddie? The code runner is the thing that's going to be doing the execution of the code. And so, like, when you're making classes, you typically want to think about state. If you think about where is state going to be held, that is going to be easy for me to manage in my brain. That's typically when I make classes. I'm thinking about, like, I think that's why it's scaffolding, is because you're giving it structure. And software, the state is all in the structure. I mean, the structure is all in the state. Jesus, I'm sorry, I've had a long day. A good day though, good day. But yeah, so like when you're figuring out the structure of your code, it's all in the state. So it's like, how are you going to manage state in a way that it's going to, whatever real world problem you're solving, you'll be able to analyze and navigate this code and add features to this code in a really nice way that your state isn't just all intertwining together. And that's why when people say single purpose or single responsibility, which those are two different things, but they're really saying like you don't want state to get all mixed up. What do you think? Why do you think Google's lacking behind OpenAI? And dude, I was just talking about that. Why I think Google's lacking behind in terms of innovation in AI, even though they have the largest data in the world plus DeepMind. I was talking with a friend about it. Dude, he should come on here, Tony, because he was saying really valuable stuff and should have worked like for Google, like, or I guess like did research for them. And it seems like it's based on what he was saying, a lot of it's based on the process of, like, they have such a process, which is a huge thing in enterprise, right? Like enterprise companies have crazy amounts of process. And for prompts, so actually I'm gonna yeah. But yeah, so like they have crazy amounts of process. So like the process of these companies is often extremely efficient over time because they're scaling large infrastructure. What I mean is, like, they'll have all these teams doing all these things, and because they have to manage all these products. The problem is, well, it's not really a problem, but tech scales so fast. Google and these companies scale so fast that they have a lot of their products. Like, in order for a product to make money in tech, it typically has to. You need a lot of people working, and you need to get critical mass. And then if you have scale, you can become a unicorn. Like if you spend like $10 million or whatever building Google Plus, or I don't know how much. Obviously, it was probably more than that, or I don't know how much. But like, you can spend that much money doing it and like spend 2 years, and then hey, if it beats Twitter, you have $1 billion company, right? But the problem is that takes like 50 engineers or whatever, or it takes like a whole subdivision of people. So let's say you have like 10 different projects like this happening at the same time. Can you see how like you can inflate really easily because you're not is you're doing you have enough money and growth to do a lot of projects, but you don't the follow through takes longer than is sort of like uh longer than necessary for you to get that solid feedback of like, is this do we need all these people? I think that's what you see happening in tech largely, but I think that a lot of that, just to get back to your point, I'm not I know I remember what you're talking about, but they're part of the reason why Google's not that effective, I think, is because they're too bloated when it comes to their teams, and they're probably too bloated in terms of their process. And to get one thing done, just from what I hear, it seems like it's super difficult because like it's like ideally if something like Google Plus fails, then it's like, yeah, yeah, we'll just like get rid of everyone and then we'll like go back to what we did the lean way of working that we had before and all. It's like it probably isn't like that. It's probably maybe they ramp things down a little bit, but maybe all those people go to some other team or something. So I think that their process makes it so they're just not that lean. And I think Meta probably has a better culture for that. Meta's just they just win when it comes to open source. And so they're really used to just like being efficient without like monetary reasons to. And I think I'm not trying to like blow smoke or anything, but it's like I think Meta's just better when it comes to from what I know of like Facebook and even Zuckerberg himself, like they're more so hackers. Um, but yeah, obviously Meta has a ton of issues. But what do you think? Do you think they have an excessive precaution compared to others? I don't know. I mean, based on if I'm gonna make a guess, I'd say yeah. Like as much as Meta's like what's it called? Much as their whole I don't even know what to call it. Like they're just their VR push. As much as the metaverse, metaverse. As much as the metaverse is like silly, that's really risky. Like that's super. Like I can totally see because the thing is like when a person is more able to make risks, they're actually personality wise, they're often very malleable because they can deal with like tragedy and failure better. So I would definitely believe that a company that doesn't take a lot of risks, like Google, would have a hard time adapting to to AI and like all these things changing as much and be more cautious and all this. Thoughts on Meta's metaverse? Yeah, I mean, um, Meta's metaverse is like it's when I'm just like okay, like it's like okay, like what's the like would I use it? No. Like it's just is it more is it just gaming? Because when I think of it, I'm just like it's just gaming. I don't think outside of gaming anyone's gonna really want no, people would want to live in there, especially once it's like a ton of, corn and all that. But like the idea of you have these like Zoom meetings and all this stuff and all in your whole work life is also under metaverse, or in the metaverse. I'm like, I don't think that's making people more connected. I think it's probably making them more autistic. Literally, literally. I'm just trying to be funny. It is funny, but it's also literally like um they're lucky Apple's pushing for it too. Otherwise, their Oculus shit is destined for fall. Yeah. Well, I don't think they're lucky. I think it's a part of the plan. I think it's all. I think it's part of the plan. I'm just gonna assume there's a get prompt for fixing code run. I have no idea what this code run is gonna be. So let's think about the dev loop. Back to your point earlier, I think me just so we can see both. I want to see you guys' comments and the code. Nice. Okay, but back to your point earlier, I think this year we'll see a rise in open source LLMs and a more sophisticated chatbots to help devs in the workflow through a better understanding of the context for the code base. Yeah, I think the dev tools will. I think it'll make it so. You know what the big jump is? I think when it comes to dev tools and LLMs is, and, this is something that deserves more thought, but like I think the big jump is going to be like, how do you get it so your code base, like junior developers, new developers, not even just junior, can, like, if you can make it so someone can effectively write code in the first week versus the first without as much like studying in the first week versus like the first 3 to 6 months, which is typical, because typically you're not being effective until the first 3 or 6 months at a real job, like not like one of these, like not like if you're just like a code monkey, but most like real jobs, especially at the junior level, you're not that effective for like the first 3 to 6 months. If this AI stuff, if like understanding code, also vector DBs and passage retrieval and all these ideas can come together and make it so people can be more effective quicker, that'll be a very big business thing. Now I understand a lot of engineers hear that and they're like, "Oh, I don't like that." I get it. I'm just saying that's just what's probably going to happen, in my opinion. Like I seems like it. Um, just do right. Okay. So first thing, probably gonna have to. So I got to think about the first thing is I have to read code. So actually, the way this should work is this should be. I'll just make a command line argument. Actually, for now, because this isn't like I'm just sort of experimenting. I'm just gonna do like to test. But yeah, it's like so. I think that would be crazy. Like if someone could build something like that, that would be crazy. I don't know what can do that. By the way, I'm mostly saying like that feature of like log stuff. It's the code's broken on purpose, by the way. It's what I'm testing. But the you think the LLMs? Oh, do you mean it helps juniors be more effective or completely neglect their role by being better? No, I don't mean neglect their role. I mean that's not going to happen. I don't think. By the way, there's not going to be. I think there's a lot of fear because it's harder to get jobs now. It's been hard for people to get software jobs for a while, for at least a couple years in general, comparatively to um, like 5, 10 years ago. The AI is not replacing people. Like even if you're using no code stuff, they're gonna hire people to do no code. I've seen it. We've all seen it happen. People seen it happen 20 years ago with Dreamweaver, and they see it happen now with Shopify sites and Squarespace sites. Like people hire a Shopify no code guy. Um, I mean the former for what you're saying. So you're saying like tools to help juniors be more effective. Yeah, that's what I think people are going to invest in. Some way for you to like have an AI just literally look at like your code, not look at it. Yeah, I'm speaking how I would speak to like some person that doesn't know tech stuff, but it's like it looks at your code, it becomes an expert, but it becomes an expert at explaining and saying where to go and giving people breadcrumbs on how to do things. Pretty much like something that's a really good educator of the code base. If there's a tool like that that's really good and interactive, where it's like built into VS Code or something, it's like built into it where it's like, hey, take me to where I need. It's like here's my ticket, here's my Jira ticket. Like like where do I need to go? You know, like pretty much like that. And also like what would I need to learn or whatever. Where is it in the Confluence docs? Like which Confluence doc do I need for this ticket? Whatever. Something that's just like a junior's like sidekick. That's a good business too. By the way, that's a really good business. If you can get to that business really quickly and get real data and if you can get real customers with something like that, you could be competitive because the reason why I say quickly is because it's pretty easy for OpenAI to just release that tool. But the problem is OpenAI could get into the Google situation where it's like, how do they manage all these products that have just such specific things? That's why I think the code interpreter kind of, because the code interpreter's idea is kind of like this, but it's not as much an integration. Here's why I think the code interpreter isn't working out as much as a product for them, as far as I understand, is mostly it's more of like a feature. Is mostly because like it's just hard for them to compete at that level as well. But I think that'd be huge. Uh, do you think the LLMs to help devs are going to make devs worse over time, and we wind up extremely dependent on these LLMs? Yeah, I mean, Python probably made people quote unquote worse, right? I'm coding in Python. Um, it's not about worse because you think about it, it's like what is good? What do you mean worse? What do you mean worse? Because there's a lot of things we don't understand about compute that the average software engineer who you probably work with and be like, man, that guy's really productive and he crushes. There's probably a lot of stuff that guy doesn't know about like basics. So it's like, what do you mean worse? Like for anyone else like here, like Reed or whoever, like what would you say? How would you answer Will's question here, where he's like saying that's a really important question. It's like, do you think the LLMs to help developers are going to make developers worse over time? It's like, what do you guys think worse is? It's a super important question. Oh, you mean like bad at solving new problems? What do you mean bad? That's what I know. I know I'm being nitpicky, but it's like the specifics matter with stuff like this because what do you mean by bad at solving new problems? Because do you mean ineffective or slow or like not as quick? And if we're gonna say someone's bad at something, it's like, do they like would I lose money hiring the person? It's kind of what I'm getting at. I don't know. It's like if someone's dependent on some AI thing to do their job, but they're like really good, but they're kind of dumb. It's like who cares? And when I say really good, I mean they're like they don't like they're dumb because they don't know as much, but they're really good because they're just constantly getting the job done, but it's really half the AI doing it. It's like, is that bad? It's a good thing to think about. Like, I don't know. Part of me, obviously, dude, I'm the first person to say that's bad. You gotta be 10x, right? But like, I don't know. Maybe, maybe that's bad. Like, it's like, yeah, long term, I would say, like, if I would write a 5 paragraph essay about it, I'd say long term that's bad because of society. And we need bridges, but it's like, is the business owner gonna think that's bad in that moment? And they're probably gonna be like, "Hey, I can hire like these people and train my like I can train people out of college that have no skills that don't even have CS degrees to do the job because I have this AI helper thing." It's like, is that bad? Like, maybe. I don't know. What am I looking up? Oh yeah, Argparse. Dude, I've how many times have I looked up the Argparse? See what I'm saying? It's like the AI wouldn't have to look up Argparse. To be fair, Argparse has changed through the years. No, obviously, like, it's bad. Like, you don't want a future where no one can knows anything. We're at a weird time, man. This is gonna be a crazy time. It's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a crazy, crazy time in in tech. It's yeah, you mean like slow? An intelligent person and plus an AI dev can do magic, a dumbass plus an AI dev tool might as well kick him. Maybe. But here's the thing, I don't just mean when I say dumb, it's like what I should say is they're just not educated and they don't know anything. So like, yeah, a dumb person's never gonna be good at a job because that's like the definition. It's like they're ineffective, they're not competent, right? So, but what I mean is like if there's enough tooling, here's you want me to sell it to you? Let me sell it to you. Let me sell it to you. I'm gonna sell right now. I'm gonna sell replacing every developer with AI. No, I'm kidding. No. What I'm gonna sell is uh, AI a a product to essentially make it so that anyone can be a software engineer. If that's the case, yeah. If you have this tool that let's say anyone can submit code, it's probably not great, but within 2 weeks with your AI tool, anyone without any knowledge can submit code to any big company that's solving company problems. If you're in that situation, hey, if someone's using that tool for a year and they're working full time, they're probably gonna be pretty damn good because, like, the tool's gonna be teaching them, it's gonna be nurturing them, like, they're gonna be a good enough, like, they're gonna get there by the time but you made money for a year with training someone while they're solving problems for you at the same time and making money for you. Dude, I think that's kinda genius. It's like you get to make use of and then that person doesn't even need to be trained. They don't need a CS degree. I know it's like funny, I'm being a bit of a doomer here, but it's like, hey, like, we have to think through these things so we don't get blindsided by it. AI won't make us dumber, the short attention span will. Y'all don't fathom how much Instagram and TikTok, yeah, are fucking up kids' minds, next generation's based no, it's I was just talking with a friend recently on how he can't really get anyone to he's a tradesman and he can't really get anyone to and he's young too, but it's like some crazy cutoffs happened in that the people born like after 2000-ish, 2002-ish, some crazy cutoff where it's like you just can't even like hire any of these people. And honestly, unless the project's extremely novel, an average or mediocre dev plus AI would be good enough for most cases. Dude, I think so. I think the irony, dude, shit. I'm gonna code this thing, but I really want to talk about this stuff too. So keep it going because this is I have a whole okay. I need to make notes that I need to go back to because I'll forget because I'm not AI. But like, let's go. Let's get down to the like. So code boot camps. I'm gonna get back to this later. I'll make a little note. Note for later. Code boot camps are actually based. Were because they're. I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna remember that. It's. I'm gonna explain that later. I'm gonna explain that later. I need this auto picture, by the way. It's like these types of things. Like I know this doesn't seem like a big script that I'm making, or because it is kind of like yeah, it's kind of like kind of dumb. But I don't actually even need Argparse because I'm just doing the code right here. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But like the it's like dude, LMs are not that great at writing code. Being real, just being real. It's not. And we gotta get there. Well, no, some of them are obviously, but what I mean is, they're just not good at that dev loop. Just not good at the dev loop. Um, dude, it's so funny. Oh man, coding boot camps. So the attention thing, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. See, I got bad attention. So like, it's not just the attention thing. It's it's being it's there's a responsibility part to like showing up. It's a showing up issue. It's a big problem with our generation. Like I was born in '96, so people born in probably mid '90s and up, like is early '90s even. There's a big problem with just like not paying attention or not like showing up, not paying attention. Sorry, but not being able to show up when you're needed. To not like because there's a people would rather like grind and do all this stuff than like because they want to be their own independent person than be like just needed independent in a small role that only matter for a couple people but it's like that super important super important to be like hey I'm going to show up because my team needs me and I think that value is just not like it's just not that like big right now. Okay, cool. So now we're actually writing the functionality. I'm literally just like running Python. Oh, oh, I just realized I do want it to read a file. Hold on a sec. I don't know why I was like sitting there acting like I don't need to read a file. That's super important, man. That's super like people think about too much. Like a lot of times people are more useful in jobs just because they show up. Like they're like dependable people. They're just there. Desktop high. All right. Let's start run. So process run. I don't know why I'm like, I need to get the standard error. Standard error. The process. All right, whatever. What do you pass to this? I'm just gonna just start over. Okay. This is what I want. This is what I want. Okay, cool. All right. Let's see what this actually looks like. std_error. Std_error. I need to be able to pipe this back into thing. Oh, my bad. Hold on a sec. I totally forgot something. 1 second. All right. Oh, yeah. I don't like naming my files like this. Did that not change? Oh, it's just taking time. Okay. Try it again. No module name. Oh. What? Oh, I didn't save the file. Okay. Nice. All right. So this is what we got. So the error is literally okay. So you know what? I can probably pass this to. You know what? I don't need this long traceback. Probably that might confuse it. I think I just need the actual error. You know what? No, I don't. I want to pass in the whole traceback. So I'm going to pass this traceback into the model. Our LLM data retrieval machines are just trying to map things into a vector so that's closer to this. So probably this might be the answer. Yeah, yeah. No, it's not retrieving data. No, it's making a prediction. So it's the second thing you're saying. So so when you have all the tokens, it's auto-regressively predicting the next token and the next token. By token, it's just the sliding scale in the context window. If it was in context window, they're just saying the vector in which they're using these numbers, these logits to predict the next number, which will then be tokenized. Okay, so let's run this. Or it won't then be tokenized, but it'll be use the tokenizer. So when you're getting a tokenizer, really all you're saying is like all these like numbers that like the LM's understanding, like give me like the tokens, like the things like print or like STS or whatever. Give me these. They're typically cut off now because they have like they'll use subwords. But that's when people say tokens, that's what they mean. Is those little subwords. But these were all just numbers. Okay, so and also I want to be very clear, the numbers here, it's separate from the actual like vector that you use to make the prediction. So like when you see the key query vector thing in transformers, like those numbers don't map directly to the prediction that gets made. Look up top K or top P, I guess, more relevant, but that's how these numbers, I mean, they'll use those numbers in the vector to retrieve the values that you need in order to get the right tokens to generate. So how they will understand the extreme complex world which humans take 25 years to develop for AGI. Um, hey, if you figure out that answer, then that's a very valuable answer. It's a very valuable thing. I don't know. I mean, it's a use air equals true else. Actually, so we executed the code. We got the feedback. So if it's we need an AGI tutorial, yeah. Yeah, AGI tutorial. I'm curious how AGI would actually get generated. It's funny, like when we say AGI, I don't even know what that means. It's like I mean, I know what it means, but it's like it's more of an idea in terms like it's not actually real. It sort of just exists, and it's more of a metaphysical concept. There's not like I think a lot of AGI isn't really defined. It's more so the magnitude of power that'll happen once AI isn't there's no it can fully generalize on all the issues. That's more so like the nirvana is once it can actually like says Altman says for him AGI is achieved when it will discover novel physics. Huh, maybe I don't know. I mean, but like, what would that mean? The one thing that I find interesting with AGI is like, well, what will happen? once it does discover quote unquote novel physics, would that be implemented somehow? And who determines that it's a discovery? It would have to be a person. What happens if no one knows that it discovered novel physics? You know what I mean? Like it's like I don't want to see AGI. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so that prediction ain't enough. I for me that's not enough. For me that's not enough. Because I don't even know. I gotta. All right, so now I'm gonna run the server with Mistral on it. For me, that's not enough because it's like, so who's gonna determine that? It would have to be people. These are using applications to define things. Like what is it gonna do? Not so much like. And I don't mean like discover. I know that that's a thing that it'll do, but it's not. It's not that defined. Like what's it gonna build? Maybe it will say something like that. What's it gonna actually do in the world? I think that's a better way of defining it. Let's get this code llama. Okay, cool. I forgot that we got V.2 now. Nice. So I'm actually going to change this to use this because I think this might be pretty damn good at fixing this code. So let's get this. I mean, uh, I don't have to change anything. It's all the same. I'm going to load it in 8-bit though. So now I'm on Colab. I'm loading Mistral V.2 with the instruct model. Well, right now it's like I'm setting up the end grok right now. And this is their new version. So they have a new version of the 7 billion parameter model. So it was my first time using it. I wonder if it's good. Use humans as batteries. We haven't seen it in nature, but I believe you don't need consciousness or intelligence. The machine can discover physics procedurally, but it will only exist to solve the physics problems, like you say. A cow eating grass. Yeah, it's like in the it's like if a tree falls in the woods, it's the same concept. And people say like, oh, like that's when there's a lot of consequences. Like even it just doing that has a lot of consequences. Like, yeah, I mean that's true because then yeah, you have something that can just make new physics. So then people can now do things. The thing with AGI is that the danger that people will do if they had something that powerful. I get it. I get it. But also, like, people have guns and bombs. That doesn't seem that bad if people just have something that's pretty smart. Anyone freaking out about AGI typically, it's like a weird litmus test for me. Oh, this one's a little. Oh, the checkpoints are like 5 gigs for the shards. I mean, interesting. Okay, it's loading. How long have I on like waited for models to load here? I'm thinking. Probably like a long time. Like if I actually think through, like it might like a whole day. Especially, I've done a lot of these things. Like how long have like some of these streams I've waited like an hour for like a model to load, like actually. Yeah, like 40 minutes. But it was a weird network issue. How long have I waited for models to train in my life? Well, that could be a lot. It could take days for models to train. How long will it take AGI to train? Uh, I don't know. OpenAI is interesting, but a part of me still like, I mean, GPT-4, but a part of me still like, it's not gonna, I haven't seen it really do, I've seen it as like a nice tool that you throw stuff at. I haven't seen it as something that's like a genuine problem solver. But I have seen it like do things. Like I've seen it. By the way, when I say genuine problem solver, I mean like really effective. I've seen it do like solve problems. I want to be very clear. Let's see, max difficulties 4,000. I think most people have actually. All right, let's do this. Yeah, we got this running. Okay, quests. Generate. Oh yeah, it's a post request. Like how many times have I looked this up? I know it's like super basic, but it's like it's the object. What do I say to pass out? Pretty sure I say yeah, system prompt and then user prompt. Okay, let's start writing the prompts. By the way, if you haven't like played around with newer versions of the Transformers library, this is awesome. This is really cool. This is cool. So it's like I mean, it's not that cool, but they have this applied chat template, which makes it, if, I mean, I'm sure like everyone knows about this or whatever, but like this wasn't always around, and they make it so for more popular models, you can say like just pass up system, pass up user prompt, and you don't have to use like that capital INST like you see in Llama 2 and all that. It just gives you the template. It just makes it so you can just use whatever template it finds to use for the system prompt and the user prompt, and it does it automatically, which is awesome. Rather than having to like you've seen me write out like INST, close the INST tag, and like all this stuff, and it's like it gets so tiresome. But instead, you just pass up a JSON where you say roll system, roll user, and it just works. That way I don't have to change. Well, we'll see. I may not. I may have to change the code, but I probably won't have to change the code, which is nice. I just need to. So the way the server works is I just pass it the system prompt and I pass it the user prompt per generation, and it should just work. See user prompt. This is now I'm prompting Mistral. You are a Python programmer. Your role is to write good Python code. It's to read and analyze Python code and rewrite code with fixes, and I will also, the user will also give you an error that goes along with the broken code. I'm like, it's a pretty long sentence. Okay, your role is to rewrite the code with rewrite the code, rewrite the code to fix the given error. Let me rewrite this. The user will give you code as well as the error that goes along with the broken code. The user will give code and error following format. I don't even need to say that. They should be able to figure it out. You must only reply with your fixed code, not actually. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm told to respond in JSON. No, it's gonna mess up probably. Yeah, I'm gonna say you must only reply with your fixed Python code as if it was going to be executed right after as is. I feel like it's just like so bad at like taking directions like that. All right, the user prompt is just gonna be code, gonna be broken code. We're gonna have the code. Oh, yeah, I need to read the file. I write so much JavaScript I like forget some. So if std error, then do all this stuff. The request. Oh yeah, the thing that's like not JSON request object. The controversial, a lot of mathematician fantasies over, and the world reveals itself in terms of numbers and formulas, but that's not true. If the world was a simulation, sure, they would discover physics. Yeah, maybe this is the test of if the world's a simulation. Maybe this is that test. Okay, so broken code. And this is the error. Error to broken code error. Result std error. You know, I gotta tell it. I gotta tell it. The user will give the code in the following format. Broken code, broken code goes here. The user will give the error for the code the following format. And it'll see broken code error. Broken code error goes here. Error. All right. See, so this is the response. Response JSON. That's it, right? Result equals response JSON. Print. Oh no, response.text. Yeah, pretty sure. Pretty sure. Okay. All right, we got to get the code. So go to the file name. File name. With as f dot read. Oh, you know what? I gotta keep the. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Indranil? Let's see. Does Mistral run on free collabs here? Free? I think so. If you load it up as 8-bit, it'll probably run on there. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. If you run Mistral on the free code tier, make sure you run it in 8-bit, and for the 7 billion, I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. And then let's join. Hold on a sec. This seems weird. Return. Okay, run this. Oh, nice. Okay, we're moving for fine tuning. Yeah. I think for fine tuning, pretty sure. Not for the 6. I mean, you'd have to do. I would do Laura probably. Honestly, pretty sure that would work. Okay, let's run this again. Python auto fixer. Nice. Oh, I didn't pass the code because I don't need to. Was there new lines? Okay. All right. That's the code. Okay. Then we have the result, standard output. We're only doing this if result and output. If there is an error, we'll fix it. We'll say running the file. And then we'll say, we'll just do the file. And then we'll say, print, there was an error. We'll say, this error. And then we'll say fixing code. I want to see if this is actually going to fix in code. I want to see that. Print code ran successfully. Print output. Print result to be out. Okay, so now let's run this. Okay. Oh, this is method not allowed. What? Oh, post. This is, oh, why is there an error? Internal server error. These conversational roles must alternate. User assistant. Oh, okay. So it's so funny. The thing I said about the system prompts just doesn't work for Mistrals. Okay. So, okay. Make this assistant. Hold on a sec. What? Okay. I think, yeah, what do they say here? Oh, they don't have system prompts for this. This is the instruction model, though. I mean, what is your favorite? Well, uh, okay, that's fine. We can survive the winter. For now, we'll do this. We'll only use the user prompt, and then we'll combine the system prompt with the user prompt. That's all we need to do. And then we'll just say Mistral prompt, and this will be different. And this will have, okay. This is now working. I'm just kidding. I don't know if it's working. Let's see. Mistral prompt. I need to adapt the server to use Mistral prompt. So let's say, only because I use the server for other stuff. So why do they not have system prompts? I mean, I guess that's fine. I may also misunderstand it. Let's actually say Mistral prompt. Oh, it's kind of weird. Hold on. That is kind of weird. Make these keyword arguments. Then we'll say, yeah. Typically want to do keyword arguments. And we'll say not JSON equals false. Yeah. Okay. So else, yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah. It's not perfect. All right. So then we run this. So now this is going to say prompt equals this. User prompt. We're going to get the prompt. User prompt equals user prompt. And then missile prompt equals missile prompt. Not JSON equals not JSON. And then, okay. So now I think it should be capable of doing the combined user prompt thing. All right, let's run it again. Oh wait, no, I need a new, oh. Wait, change that. I need a new, going on. Jared, you prefer Python or JavaScript? Python, typically. I have to do a lot of JavaScript though. How is the pricing for Mistral API? And I have early access for it. I don't know the pricing because like they were like, oh, your card doesn't it doesn't work for reoccurring payments. Like wait for us to get that or something like that. And I was like, what? Like, it's just a normal debit card. Like I don't know. They're French, so like I don't know if that's a part of it. It's literally it's just like so I might call the bank and be like, yeah, these French people need you to do something. Like I don't know. It's literally what I'll say. I'll be like, yeah, this French company is confused. For the first time in my life, I wrote TypeScript today, and I aged 10 years. TypeScript's okay. I've had to debug TypeScript. It's I don't know. I'm like I wouldn't use it unless like no, actually I would. If I had a team, I'd probably actually no, actually now I'm thinking about it. I wouldn't do it. I would look the other way if an engineer chose to though. Yeah, Python's better. What's the best my favorite language that I've coded? It's so funny. I'll really like coding in a language and be like, that's cool. I'll never use that again. Because it's like, man, I feel like most people don't understand how little languages, like how good Python is. Do you have an ideal language in your head you wish existed? Probably just Python. By the way, I'm not even a Python stan. I just like it. Like I'm not like a Pythonista, honestly. I probably know more about JavaScript because I've done so much. I've had to do so much JavaScript. I've probably had to write more Node related code than anything. No, I've probably written more Python than Node, but in total front end and back end JavaScript or whatever. And then I used to do Ruby. Oh, I've written a lot of PHP. I did a little bit of Go. I used to do C and C++ because that's all I knew was I thought that's what everyone did. And then I was like, oh, wait, no one really uses. I mean, not no one, but like most people just use Python. I was like, I'll just do Python. I find Python harder than Java. Well, Python, Java handholds in a good way a lot of stuff, which is because typically when you're executing Java, you're in an environment that's really, really well made. Whereas Python, you don't have to. And I typically am not. I don't use like Python IDEs anymore, at least. So I get that. I totally get Python being kind of weird, but it's super easy though. It's idiomatic. All right. Oh, I gotta use the new server. Hold on. I'm trying to think, what's the best ideal language? Like I don't know. I'm honestly not too opinionated. It's so funny. Like I'll make fun of TypeScript just because it's like kind of funny that people are into it. But writing Go, I enjoyed it the most, probably, from being real. Why did this break? Oh, it's a key error. My bad. My bad. Hmm. Do I want to check these keys? Is that? Mm, eh, yeah, it's fine. Let's just do else none. That's fine. Everything's fine. Uh, okay. All right. And did this server run that quickly? Wow. Yeah, ngrok tunneling's pretty nice. Okay, cool. Let's run this. Hit the code runner. Run this again. Still got an error. You can only concatenate string, not none type string. What? Oh, um, okay. Yeah. Logic here is wrong. Yeah, what is I'm trying to think about what I would change about Python. I would simply write pep too. I mean, as well. Um, pep's nice. I just feel like whenever I have to work, I always have to do things like quickly. So I'm always drawn towards high level languages because like I feel like because I did a lot of the hackathon world and on the job. That's everything's about that, or at least people like you. So I was always drawn to Python. I was like, man, this is so efficient. It's funny hearing, but also I've been learning Rust on the side, and Rust is pretty nice. But you know what's actually really good about Rust, and why I understand why people like engineers love it, is because you're forced into it. You're forced into you're forced into structure. You're forced into constants. That's really powerful. It's funny hearing people get emotional. JSON is the best. JSON's my favorite language. Okay. Oh, I meant to put the thing here. Why did this break? Also, I love web dev. I've always loved the web. I've always loved like because that's how I learned is I would like go to these sites when I was a kid. I go to Facebook and I look in the it was like before DevTools, but I think it was before DevTools. But I just look at the source of it and I'd be like, whoa. So I would learn everything about web dev. Like the first time I really knew I was like good at programming was with PHP actually. I think that's true. The first time I knew not that I'm good, but I'm just saying like the first time I had that false confidence was with PHP and MySQL. Straight for real. PHP and MySQL, I was like, oh, I because I had a moment where I'm like, I can build any sort of web application. And I was like, whoa, uh-oh, uh-oh. We got a torch multinomial error. So that's in the prediction. Um, Okay. By the way, I don't like PHP. But that's not me advocating PHP, by the way. I'm just saying that's just Rust is so C++ plus plus, and I love it. Rust is cool. I like it. Whenever I'm on it, I'm like, "Wow, I can't afford to learn this, though." All my money's tied to building applications really fast. That's why I get paid. Or it's also now that's why other people get paid, I guess. Maybe if I yeah, I don't know. But, I could spend time on it, though. I'd say, by the way, the statically type doesn't make things slow. I wanna be very clear in terms of development. It's typically the garbage collector. It's typically memory management. That's what I found. Like, building apps in C++, plus plus, I found to be slower than Python in development. And, like, Go and Java, I think the development's just as fast. I'm speaking very, like, kind of straightforward about it. I know it's kinda like there's a lot to say about it, but I think when it if you had to get down to it, if you had to budget something and you had to look at time, legitimately think C++ plus plus would be slower than Go and Java and Python. And I put them all in the same bucket, honestly. Let's see. And I know a lot of people probably disagree with that, but because everyone has their own feelings about that. But there's a reason why this stuff got super like popular. Like Java companies just blew everyone out the water, and now it's Python, and well, now it's JavaScript. There's a reason. Applications are just faster. I haven't touched Rust, but I heard it was a systems language. It's weird a systems language gets so much attention today. And C++ devs are a small minority. Well, because there's so much. I think it's getting popular because there's so much like BS. Like there's so much fluff with JavaScript. So it's like, yeah, Rust is gonna. I think it makes sense. I think people are just attracted to like bare bones too. The nerds, right? I think it makes a ton of sense. Oh, it's the max tokens. No, it's this part. Hold on a sec. This part's messed up. It's not the multinomial. Where's this error? I don't even. Is it the max tokens? What? What is going on? No, it can't be max. I've like looked this error up. Was oh yeah, I've been listening to Final Fantasy VII's. I've been so into Final Fantasy VII recently. I don't know why. I've been listening to the soundtrack. I used to like it as a kid, but I actually never even fully beat the game. I never beat the last disc as a kid. It's funny, but I recently have just been so into it, into the story of it. It's like it is kind of a really good story. I know I sound like such a normie. It's like really good. It's like, oh really? Um, I'm not even reading this. If I don't see if I see a GitHub and it doesn't have and one post doesn't have insane amount of thumbs up, I'm not reading any of it. That's how 10x I am. I don't have time. Uh, I can't load this in 8-bit. Let's see. Try increasing temperature. Oh, that's annoying. I didn't know that. Hold on a second. Load in 8-bit. Why we have APIs. Red. Oh, I didn't read that. But there aren't a lot of systems building companies. It's just Microsoft. There's a lot. There's a lot of people. I mean, like the world's run on systems. The world's run on systems. Hold on a sec. Why is this not? Okay. Okay. This guy just has a version that's look. Hold on a sec. Use flaccid. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this one. This is a model push to hub. Okay. Okay. Let's just pray this random model is good. Let's pray this random model is good. Let's pray. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go. And I'm gonna. What is it? Where is it? It's the model right here. Okay. Use flash attention. I gotta take this guy's model. This guy uploaded it in 8-bit. You're like talking about bits like this is like the 90s. As if I know about the 90s. All right. I'm gonna restart this server. Damn, it's so big. Hold on. All right. But like, oh, because I'm zoomed in. Did I refresh? Oh. Every company using microcontrollers. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like how many systems are we using? That's one thing. Is another thing is probably a lot of people moving to Rust because there's so many jobs and systems. It's just like it's hard to hire people in systems. I think that's probably a big reason. There's a lot of it's easy to hire in web. In systems, it pretty much has to be a university student. That's one thing about all this. So I would honestly, if you were want to get a job, like, yeah, I would definitely say like try to look into investing in like systems. It's always needed. Let's do this. And Grok, get the model. Let's get the model. This torch isn't defined. Wait, what? Oh, I just pasted stuff without thinking. Let's see. All right, we're installing. We're good. They said I passed quantization config. Oh, it happens on the inside. All right, cool. Oh, nice. That's actually cool. So this already has like quantization and everything set up. Nice, Nice. Let's go. Now that this is downloading, I want to get back to another topic. Where's the notes? I got to go back. Okay, my notes. All right. Coding boot camps were actually based. Okay. So we're talking 2024. Or let me know, everyone who's here in the chat. Let me know. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation about 2024 tech predictions. I'm pretty sure because we were talking about a tool where it's like, what if there was like some AI tool that was really good at educating people about code in a code base for like a company and a useful code base, if it was really good and someone without any experience could start writing code like within like a short time frame, even a month, how would that change the industry? Because then I'm thinking about it and I'm like, it would kind of be the same as what happened with coding boot camps. It would be software engineer inflation, which is what we're experiencing right now. All I know in LLM is fine tuning GPT. Well, you gotta learn more than that. But yeah, like what is the consequence of that? Like that's crazy. Because what I'm thinking is if you can just get anybody, like someone who's majoring in liberal arts, and you can get them, and I'm not saying immediately, but you can educate them to use a tool to write, to like fix things and to do tickets, like low level software engineering tickets, bottom of the barrel tickets. They would be a junior dev. And I mean, the tool would have to be really good, and it would have to be like an extension of the code base. You still need knowledge to use knowledge. That's true. But what I mean is like you, the knowledge can be limited. Like you can code in Python and not know anything about. Like we were just talking about memory. It's like you don't have to know anything about, not anything. You have to know something, but like you don't have to be useful with Python. There's a lot you don't have to think about when it comes to stack and heap. If you think about it, historically, stack and heap is on everyone's mind. Smart pointers. These things are on everyone's mind. It's the same concept. It's like all of a sudden you have this like some AI tool to where like you're just being educated on, and like you can generate little snippets of the code, and it's not that like the AI is doing it, but it's doing enough so you can. The way I would sell this to someone is like think what Python did for software develop Java and Python did for software development. I would say think about that like times 10. Like and think about it's not just a generic tool, but it's like it's baked into your code base in the heart of your company. Dude, I could sell that thing. I could fucking sell that thing. I think uh I think building AI for huge code base. I wonder what will be the bill for vector databases. Well, I think vector databases are here to stay. Huge amount of not knowledgeable but usable devs and small amount of knowledgeable supporting. Yeah, I think yeah. Yeah, exactly. It'll be like you'll have like a support of like people that know things because you have to have people that know things because you can't. By the way, you can't do a lot of things with that tool, right? Like there's a lot of features in refactoring that you just can't do with that tool that I'm saying. But like I think it could be useful enough that you just don't need you you could just and here's the thing, you don't have to get a liberal arts degree person to use this tool. The Python, the 10x Python. I would call it 10x Python. You wouldn't have to have a like it wouldn't have to be like some fucking junior, like I mean like pre-junior, junior that doesn't know anything. It could be a mid-level person. When I said junior, I didn't mean that in disdain. It's not. I'm just kidding. But it's. I think that's interesting. Uh-oh. Last. What do I need to install? Okay. But I think that's. I think there's gonna be. I think that's gonna be a big thing. It has to be because the way I look at like projections is I'm like, how are people gonna make money? It's like, how are people gonna like think how like what would be something that would cut costs for a business owner at an insane level that's reasonable? And people have a fantasy of like, oh, it's gonna take all the devs. It's not gonna take the devs. It's just gonna like make it so you can be useful quicker, probably, in my opinion. And you can also like not just useful quicker, but you can be useful in a with less context, I guess, which could be bad. I know, like, because I totally get it. That could be terrible. Totally get it. That could be horrifying. But I'm saying I think that's gonna happen though. I hope uneducated people take over software engineering. Too many entitled college kids. Yeah, me too. I'm like, yeah, I think it'd be great. I think if you just have anyone being able to work, like at first I'm like, dude, like all these FANG companies are like hiring like these like people that just don't know anything. And now I'm like, that's great. There might be a whole culture shift in tech because of this. Because think about it, it's like really it's whether you want to work. And right now, a lot of people don't want to work. And a lot of those people are those entitled kids. So it's like, yeah, it's a small Next.js app, static, nothing. No, Next.js app. People charge $500 and above. Software knowledge have more people coding but aren't valuable. Yeah, but yeah, true. Software is valuable people coding that aren't. Yeah, but also it's whether someone can get something demoable quickly. It's also if someone can get something super custom that fits their needs, though. That's what a lot of pricing is. It's like, can they get something custom that like fits their needs? Because a lot of times it's hard to get not it's like for like things that require people that are really good. It's always how much is this product owner going to have to communicate with the person, an engineer, over time. And engineers don't like that. Engineers don't like having to talk to product people, but your ability to talk to product people is what makes you not like that's how you keep your job because product people can't speak with someone that doesn't or like they can if someone isn't good or if it's just like AI or whatever, they can't do anything. They themselves become ineffective. So your ability to make it so someone who owns the product can iterate quickly and they themselves can become useful, that's what makes it so you can set a price that's good. And that's what makes you like a good software engineer rather than like just anybody, you know. I meant software has value, but people coding that aren't. Software industrial revolution. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of true. Mm, I can't load this if you try to load it. Oh, interesting. Tokenizer. It's using a different tokenizer. Oh, it's using this tokenizer. Okay. Wait a second. Wait a second. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's get this. All right, let's load this again. Let's load the tokenizer. I did have to load the model again. Oh, some modules are okay. I'm gonna just restart everything. Let's just get restart everything. I don't have to install that. Yeah, we're gonna have a software. I think we're gonna have a software industrial revolution. I said it. It's gonna be crazy. I think it's gonna be like anyone can like it'll be like anyone can be useful. And if there was a problem with that, dude, I don't know why. I don't know why people like because I'm like, that's good. That's cool. The only problem with that is if people manage things poorly because they can't because they're people are building a and they screw themselves over. But the fact that people can be more useful with better tools, honestly, is a good thing. We're fighting on bootcamp devs. I wonder what's happening to Upwork WordPress devs. Upwork WordPress devs will be around forever. There's so many WordPress sites. WordPress sites are too big to fail. WordPress sites are too big to fail. It's like there's too many. The only people that will survive AGI are WordPress devs. It's so funny because people are like, "Man, I can't find a job coding," and I'm like, "Have you learned WordPress?" They're like, "No, that sucks. I hate." It's like I hate WordPress. It's like, well, like there's always work in WordPress. People be like, "Man, I can't seem to find a coding job." It's like, have you tried WordPress? Uh, I mean, I'm not gonna do WordPress. WordPress is like, yeah, that's all I can say. WordPress sucks, dude. I hate WordPress. $20 one page. If you get paid per page, I'm sorry. You get paid per page. Dude, that's man, WordPress is so funny. WordPress is some of the most annoying work you'll ever do, especially if you have to fix a WordPress site. I've had like a couple WordPress. One was completely custom everything because there wasn't any integration. Hey, what's up, Matthew? I'm talking about the fact that like people be like, man, I can't find a job like coding. I'm like, have you learned WordPress? Word when AGI takes over the world, it's not gonna happen. But you get it. If AGI takes over the world, and no one will have a job except WordPress people. There'll be robots doing, like, plumbing and but no one there will be no, there'll just there's so many WordPress sites, and you can say, "Oh, but that's super easy to, like, automate." I've seen some of the most chaotic WordPress code bases, like, there's no patterns in it. AI is pattern recognition. There's no because WordPress is interesting. I think it might actually be the one thing to defeat AGI because there's no way to, like there's no patterns. There's no way to learn. There's nothing to learn. There's nothing to learn with it with AGI with, WordPress. So what's the AI gonna learn? How to write, like, weird, confusing PHP code that's been changing, like, forever, every, like, month? That's written by people that aren't it's like, typically undisciplined people writing the code. Dude, there's no like, you can work forever. You work forever. You can inject React into WordPress. Yeah, that's additive, Matt. That's additive. What about all the old WordPress stuff? Who's gonna do dude, like 80% of the web is written in PHP. 80% of the web is written in PHP. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Will just said it right now. 43% of the top 10 million websites are written. There's no you can't like if you learn WordPress, you will be able to work forever, but you will get paid like not very well. Maybe actually, what if it's the opposite? What if WordPress developers become the new chats, the new software chat? No one wants to do it, needs to be done. Everything's made in it. The code's super weird and not organized typically. You have like people like using conventions from old PHP, new PHP. Dude, I think that the future like it'll be like WordPress developers are just billionaires. They're like, "What do you do?" "Oh, WordPress." Like, "What you code?" It's like 2030, and they're like, "What yeah, you code?" No one codes anymore. Yeah, I've just been coding WordPress. Jared, give an overview of LLM like there's for Node Express for HTTP Mongo for database and all? What do you mean? Like an overview of LLM of LLMs? What do you mean? Like what it is? I guess what do you mean? Like do you mean like more just the concept of it or fine tuning or let's see. I can't use flash attention. This was a waste of time. Let's see. Gotta reload the model. I'm just gonna restart the whole thing. Let's see. Langchain? Dude, Langchain sucks. The I love how first Langchain came out. I was telling everyone, I was like, "This is over engineered." And now all of a sudden, Hacker News, a year later, Hacker News, most popular comments post, everyone's like, "Oh, Langchain is, oh, like, all these tooling, like, you can literally just, like, use Jinja for" which is true, by the way. Half of Langchain is Jinja, the other half is, like, passage retrieval that you can use some other smaller tool for. Just stuff is interesting. If, like, OpenAI's API actually deals with a lot of what Langchain does. Uh, WRP 8 Yeah, WRPP. Matt just made a great acronym. The WRPB stack: WordPress, React, PHP, broke bank accounts. If right now you're learning WordPress, you're like kind of in it, like you're kind of retarded. Like, sorry, like if right now you're like, listen, of all things I just said, even given all that, 43% of the top 10 million websites are page in WordPress. If you do actually, like, jokes aside, if with all the tech you can learn, like Rust, like all this LLM stuff, like general just data, neural networks, uh, all the cool languages coming out, and you're like, let me learn WordPress. When I say there's a lot of work in WordPress, I don't mean good work. Like you might as well just do like a labor job. So you know, like what technologies are there in the LLM world? Oh, I'm probably not the best for that. I was just kind of ripping on that. I've used Llama Index and it was horrible. You know what's funny? Part of why I started streaming is because I was using Llama Index for something and it would suck. And I was like, let me just do this from scratch. And I literally just like I think it was one of the LLM agent videos. And I was like, let me just stream. No, the first stream I did was about the web scraper. But before then, I was using Llama Index, and someone mentioned on a stream to make an LLM agent, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to use Llama Index. That was horrible." So I just did it from scratch. Bro, universities use WordPress. Any professor with a crunchy research lab is, dude. Everyone has uh, WordPress. By the way, I'm not saying you're not going to get work if you. I'm saying you're going to probably not get paid very well. I've done. I won't say the university, but there's a university in New York. I had a contract once where I worked on their WordPress site. It was actually paid fairly well, but that was, like, a while ago. It was horrifying. And I shoulda got paid more for it. Now I'm thinking about it. It was so bad, I shoulda got paid more. Right now, I would imagine WordPress developers are getting paid like dirt. Literally, no. Did this seriously not load? Let's see. Let's run this again. Oh, no, I stopped it. Yeah. Yeah, everyone has a WordPress, though. Hey, if you know WordPress, you will be employed forever. No AGI is taking your job, but you will probably be on the streets also. You'll be an employed homeless man. I use PHP Symfony. Dude, PHP Symfony is very cool. Symfony was used at a job I had once. I didn't use it a lot, but it was really nice actually. I really liked I liked the database scaffolding. That was cool. I thought it reminded me of Django. The dependency injection stuff is cool. That stuff's really good for like actual like scaled projects and legacy code bases. And I wanted to kill myself during the whole. Oh, that's funny. I didn't read the second half of what you said, Reed. You're like, I like PHP Symphony. The second half, you said I wanted to kill myself during that whole period. Waiting for new tech, rat race, when Vision Pro comes out and people are building VR apps. Hmm. Do you think those VR apps are going to be used? I don't know. What do you guys think about VR? You think VR's apps are going to be like apps? Like there's going to be like an app store that people use. That people are like, oh, I gotta get my new app, like it was back in you know, the iPhone days and all that. I don't know. Maybe it could be true. Could be true. Maybe game's kind of fun. Apps are ridiculous. Yeah, like I'm thinking, like if there's an app store, like what would I get? I wouldn't use it because I feel like my brain would fucking explode. No one putting that thing on for Yeah, no one's like, oh, dude, I got to do a ton of work. But no one's doing that. No one's like, hey, let me do a ton of work by just like putting on a goggle thing that is my eyes are just glued to a screen completely. It's not work, dude. Like, it's like, hey, at least I got a keyboard here while I'm coding. It's No, I know there's still a keyboard with Vision Pro. Just kidding. Let's see, Michael Jordan on one screen, other screen, some girl on OnlyFans and VR. Yeah, let's pump the brakes here. So you're saying when you use if you you're saying when you use Vision Pro or whatever these VR things, you're going to be watching a Michael Jordan game on one screen, and then on the other screen you're going to be watching OnlyFans. Dude, how how old are you? Is this what the Zoomers are up to? Jared, dude, what? First off, how'd you find the Michael Jordan tape? I say tape because that was a very long time ago. So you get a Michael Jordan tape. Jared, be honest. Have you ever bought an OnlyFans? No, no, no. I don't watch anything actually. I don't watch any corn YouTube. It's funny. I've been cursing a lot, but I'm like, oh, I won't say porn. Um, yeah, I gotta stop with the cursing. I forgot. I got like ads. I'm monetized now. The yeah, I won't stop. Why would I say? I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I don't watch any. I used to when I was like, I guess like a teenager, early 20s. I mean, I say that as if I'm 27. I say that as if I'm like, but damn, bro, you're missing out. Web 4 is nothing compared to point 4. Dude, Matt, you're on that all day. You're on that all day. Let me guess. What is there like? There's like a Twitch streamer that has you have like a Twitch streamers one. You have like a OnlyFans for what do you have like? You have like Top G's OnlyFans, Matthew. Someone has to feed the kids, bro. Dude, that's disgusting. What do you got? You got the OnlyFans for like Logan Paul, Logan Paul's wife. Like what? Like what OnlyFans? Like one thing I'm curious about the OnlyFans thing is like, what are you doing? Because sometimes there'll be like a guy that has it, and then you can say, okay, well they're gay and they're using. It's like I I don't think I think some people just get people's OnlyFans just because they're fans of them. Is that true? Do these people just get OnlyFans because they're like, yeah, like, oh yeah, I just want to support this guy, or is it all just sex? You guys think Apple is gonna make money on Vision Pro? Sam Altman has one for sure. Dude, if Sam Altman had an OnlyFans, that would be like that would I'd just walk into the OpenAI. I'd walk into the OpenAI place and I'd be like, I'd just sit in I'd be like, oh, hi, it's my desk now. Oh, yeah, your CEO is illegitimate. I would never want to fucking run that company. But it's only private members for OpenAI employees. That's the new scheme is having oh yeah, I'm like doing something. But that's the new scheme is like having that's such a demon scheme is you have an OnlyFans for employees. That's like why HR was invented. That's why HR was invented because eventually if you run like someone who runs a company will it's like a I got the same error. But eventually oh I gotta debug this error. But eventually someone a guy who runs a company will have a cult of only he will sell OnlyFans to his employees. Depends how well the apps are portrayed in ads. Oh yeah, right. Is Vision Pro actually going to make money? I think Vision Pro's ability to make money is directly correlated to whether OnlyFans will make money. I don't know why, but that feels true. I think that's true. All right. I feel like I feel like is it should be illegal. Yeah, for a time. I've been thinking about this recently. I'm like, should this stuff be illegal with how like terrible it is for society? Probably. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't want to say that. Steve Jobs is going to be turning in his grave if Vision Pro's top app is only. It'll be OnlyFans. It'll be OnlyFans. It's so funny. I was watching a Steve Jobs interview recently, and he was like, I'm gonna like use code Llama. Or hold on a second. I gotta. The title says Mistral. I gotta figure this error out. I gotta figure this error out. And he was like, in the interview, he was like, yeah, in my 20s, I believed that technology could just save everything. And he's like, but like, it's really about people. And it's about like, and he was saying real stuff where it's not, he's like, only people really do good, you know? And he told a story about how his childhood teacher, like, taught him how to love learning and all this. And I was like, dude, that's very beautiful. So right now, people mostly use your phone to like squirt and cry. Uh, the way Apple managed to psyop people into having an exclusive satisfaction and owning an Apple product, yeah, dude, it's insane. Yeah, it's like people can. Apple has convinced Apple heads, their fan base, that it's actually good that they have to use their product. They've convinced them that oh, it's actually good that our product that you literally can't like use like there's no ports from the beginning. There's no ports for other products. It's just our ports. And their products aren't that revolutionizing. No, their products are pretty revolutionizing. The iPhone is pretty crazy. VisiCalc was pretty crazy in 1979 or whenever that was, 78. No, they're revolutionizing. Is there gaming? I don't know if there's gaming. No, but they've convinced all of them to be like, hey, it's actually great that we're slaves. It's true. All right, let's figure this error out. Let's figure that. I keep getting this error. The probability tensor contains either infinity, nan, or element. So these probabilities are messed up. Is there a way for me to just remove those or to turn those into zero? Can I do that? It's probably the best solution. I wonder what. Let's see. Is this what's this guy doing? Oh yeah, he's using Llama 2. I modified half into. Uh, you can't load it in. Okay. I think I know the issue. I don't want to load an 8-bit. Yeah, let's actually do this. Oh, actually, okay. I think that is the issue. Let's stop this. Besides the iPhone, dude, VisiCalc. They made the first killer app on the Apple II. They revolutionized user interfaces, but they kind of stole it though. Giles was sort of open about it. He was like, "Yeah, I saw this one company. I forgot which one." But he was like, "Yeah, they demoed like object-oriented programming, Smalltalk. They demoed graphical user interfaces. They demoed um, networking." And then he was like, and he saw that like in the 70s. And he was like, "I saw it, and like I was like, I'm just gonna do all that." So the Macintosh and Lisa with the graphic user interfaces, the Macintosh specifically. Next with object-oriented programming and networking. And also when he came back to Apple, it all just came together with the graphic user interfaces and the networking. And obviously object oriented with, Objective C, I guess. But yeah, like he kind of stole all of it. He's real about it. I mean, people think he's like kind of like a dick, but it's like he kind of said it like in interviews a lot. He said like he would be like, yeah, like I kind of just did what they did. I like Jobs. He's like he says cool stuff, but he's also kind of psycho. I wouldn't like trust him like with money or anything. Like I wouldn't like have him borrow. I wouldn't be like, hey, can you borrow like $5? Like I wouldn't do that. He'd be like, yeah, no, I'll be right back. But he says really cool stuff. Joe, you big fan of object oriented? Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm a fan as much as it's very useful. Just make me a tech lead of OpenAI. I'm done. What would you do if you were a tech lead of OpenAI, Aditya? Because before you were saying that if you had a Vision Pro, you'd want. I have to. I won't rail on you. I won't rail on you. Am I a big fan of? It's weird you say a big fan. It's like, I'm not a big fan of object oriented. It's a funny way of putting it. It's like you a big fan. Say, hey, we got the big fan over here of object oriented programming. I'm not a big fan of it. It's just what you do. It's just what we all do now. It's like I'm not a fan. It's just like it's not even a necessary evil. It's not bad at all. It's not I have no problem with object, but I'm not like I definitely don't nerd out about object oriented programming. Definitely. I will say with you wouldn't have LLMs generating code. You would not have AGI without object oriented programming because there wouldn't be the data. Because what we did as software engineers for a long time is we wrote the real world documented objects that would map out the functionality that AGI would have to know in order to generate our enslavement. Not our enslavement, but you get it. Like that's why it's all necessary. Is we wrote the classes, we wrote the objects. When I say objects, I mean more so in the traditional object oriented way of saying instance of a class. So we wrote the classes and we wrote the objects, or implemented the objects. And now we have hope this works. Now we have AGI. Now we have LLMs that look at those data sets and take our jobs. Just kidding. But whenever if I ever say AGI is going to take your job or whatever, or AI is going to, I'm kidding. But I mean, it's gonna do something, but it's not just gonna take your job. I should be more careful about because I know there's a lot of fear around that. AGI is not going to take your job. Dude, why would you want to be tech lead of OpenAI? You know, there's so much more for you. Let's see. All right, let's. Thing is, I could just easily put code llama in this, but the title of the video says Mistral, so I gotta follow through. I don't know why I can't load this in 8-bit, or I can't do inference with 8-bit. I'll figure it out. Let's see. Okay, we got the same error, didn't we? Yep. Let's stop the server. Do sample true? Wait, can I just remove that? Oh, it's because the top P and the top K needs to be changed. The top P needs to be changed. That's like the method in which these predictions are made. Or it's a part of the method. There's a lot happening. If I was tech lead, I would delete all the repos and blame a junior. Why? One good thing to do is to break the code live. To CD SSH into the server, CD into where the website or the server, whatever the front end website is. Delete everything. Delete all the caches, clear varnish, whatever you guys have set up. and then leave. By the way, don't do that. I'm just kidding. Amusement. Ah, I see. Will, you're like a Joker type character. All right, let's see. And this again. Oops. Wait. Is the server running? It is running. Okay, let's try that again. Okay. Let's see. Fixing code. 2024. I think what we talked about with that dev tool. I think that's the main thing. That's the main thing. No, that's not the main thing. I think software tuning is going to become a thing. I know it is. I know this people. It's something I've been looking into for a while. I know people in the space looking into stuff like that. The idea of you can sort of like the user being able to actually cater it to their own experience, the software, their own experience without playing with settings, without being a nerd. That's going to happen, I think. That's like a user being like, "Oh, they're using software," and they're being like, "Oh, I want to run this application. I want this application to do this now. I don't like that it does this. I want it to do this now, and I want it to learn this about me and then do this." That type of stuff is happening for sure. It's actually working. I'm pretty sure. I think it was the do sample. Let's see. It's fixing the code. It's fixing the code. Ah, did I mess up the generation? No, it's still there. This is, I don't know why it's taking so long. It didn't crash, right? Okay. Let's see. Fixing code, fixing code, fixing code, fixing code. Why is this taking long? I mean, I guess it makes sense, but is it is this using CPU? Oh shit. Hold on a sec. Yeah, it's on CPU. What the fuck? No, it's using the GPU. It's just the input IDs are. I didn't convert it to CUDA. Even though I thought I did. No, I didn't. Did I do that? The model's CUDA, right? No, it isn't. No, it is. No, it isn't. No, it is. No, it is. Okay. I don't know. I mean, it is using the GPU, so right now it's fixing the code. It's fixing the code, fixing the code. Let's see if it actually like gets a prediction. Like, it actually generates new code. It shouldn't be taking this long, but I see that it let's see. So run is running, and then serve forever. Is this actually doing anything? This wait a second, this isn't doing anything. Hmm. I can't tell. No, it broke. Uh, decryption. I don't understand. I'm just gonna restart the server. Just restart it. We have a new link. Let's go move this link right here. Run the auto fixer. That's more like it. Okay. So these shapes are off. I don't know why that would happen. Generate. It's in the generate. Let's see. Let's just not do max tokens. Input IDs. Wait, was that? Let's see. Initial prompt. I don't know what happened. So I'm trying to. Oh, I gotta restart ngrok every time. Now I'm trying to run this and see if I can automatically fix this code using the error. It just said fix. What? There's no way it just said fix. Oh, because of the max tokens. Oh, the max tokens was too high. Okay. Hmm. Let's see. Max token. Just do 200. I don't know why. I actually don't know why it would be too high. That doesn't make sense. Okay. Let's go here. Run this. Is it doing something? Jared, if you could take over any tech company, which one would you choose? I wouldn't take over, or I'd start one, which I kind of already did. But like in terms of like a product, like which product would I want to own? Um, I don't know. No one's doing anything cool. Trying to think. What's worthy? It's a good question. I don't think this is Unk. Okay, we we tried Mistral. The title of the video is officially like true. So I'm gonna go move it back to Code Llama. I feel like I've had another video like this where I just wound up using Code Llama anyway. Oh, this is nothing. This is me not wanting to take the time right now to debug why this isn't working. This has nothing to do with Mistral. Mistral's fine. Is this disk still messed up? I'm actually going to restart. I'm going to disconnect and delete the runtime. I just don't feel like dealing with this. So I'm going to go and just use Code Llama because I know it crushes. And I'm going to go change this back to system prompt. User prompt. Okay. What did I do wrong? Why does this look weird? What? Did I not close something? Do I need a comma? Why does this look weird? User prompt. Oh, F string. All right. All right. Let's run this again. Let's run this. Let's get ngrok. Let's get this. It's funny, I used so many collabs this past year. 2023 was the year of the collab. Inheriting the bullshit from these companies does sound like it sucks. Yeah, it would suck. I think like running a big tech company, I think would kind of suck. If I'm being honest. I think a lot of it, there'd just be so much. It's like a really big system. Wait, are you running on an inference web server on a collab? That's sick. Yeah, Amos. Yeah, so I set up an ngrok tunnel and a flash server. This is how I do my inference. So I do my development locally. I set up collab with whatever model I want, and then I just use the ngrok server on my local computer. But today, Mistral was being a bit of a bitch. So I'm moving to Code Llama. Should I change the title? Yeah, let's change that title. Using Mistral. I did kind of use Mistral. I like that a lot. I've been fighting with Mixtral to get stuff working with Mix. Oh, Mix. What's Mix? Let's see. Yeah, I like this setup a lot. By the way, if anyone was watching the other videos I have, the ngrok server on that isn't working anymore. Or like, not that it was a specific server, but it's like the way of doing it doesn't work anymore. Use this new way I have, which, oh yeah, I got to make this code. I gotta make this. I gotta remind myself to post this. Let's see. Oh, MLX is Apple's machine learning framework. They've been porting a lot of models to work on Silicon. Really? Oh, interesting. Oh, it's an array framework. Nice. Let's see. Interesting. It's like NumPy, but it's made for ML first. And it's, I'm guessing, very easy to go from CPU to GPU. Dynamic graph construction. Oh. Oh, changing the shapes of function arguments does not trigger slow compilations. That's really cool. I didn't even know that was like a thing people did. People optimized. That's cool. Including Mistral 7 billion. Yeah, nice. Oh yeah, I gotta change this title. Gotta be accurate in the title. I can say use both. I don't want to lie. Let's see. Python. Code Llama. Autofix. Shitty Python. Just, dude, how do I make titles? You get to see, like, this is, I'm like trying to make a title right now. Okay, it's like I'm trying to fit into all the characters. Thing is, if I put two things here, it won't get as many clicks. It's just weird. If I put like the technology right there, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Whatever. I have other videos where I'm using Mistral, so go watch those. Today we're doing Code Llama. Wait, why don't I just change this to Code Llama? I'm an idiot. My brain's just not working today. And it's just not working today. Okay. Okay, it's the checkpoints are loaded. We got the generation config, the tokenizer config. I can see it in the GPU RAM. I'm running it in 8-bit. These ran. Server is running. Let's get this ngrok URL. Go down here. Let's run this and run the autofixer. Okay, cool. Once I get my, like, I'm off the wait list for Mistral. Maybe on Wednesday I'll do that. I'll do a Mistral thing. All right, let's see if they fix the code. Okay, they fixed the code. I can see it. Nice. That's fixed code. But this is a very simple function because this was printing Z and now it changed Z to V. Okay. and it passed in the error. Let's now make a function that is a little more intensive. Let me just get a code example. Do they have like leak code? Maybe I can go to leak code and get a code example. I was like doing a leak code for fun the other day, and I was like, I got such bad optimization. I did it. It was a hard one, but it was like the I was like, oh yeah, you have to like make it perform it, and then I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and not do that. Why is this site so slow? Oh, dude, that's a good title, fucking Will. Maybe I should make it that. Maybe I should use that. Let's see. Yeah, let's do something a little. Was it this one? I think it was the regular expression one. Is that the one I did? No, I think it was merge two sorted arrays. Or maybe I started this one. I don't know. But they give you the solutions on the site, right? Why am I looking this up? Let's just do merge two sorted arrays Python. It's pretty intermediate hard one. That's not. Yeah, this was like my. Oh god, this was like my solution. So bad. Okay. All right. So let's break this code. Dude, the feature in code llama is smart, dude. I'm gonna do that. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna say while I it has to, the way it's working now, it has to be broken in an error. So there has to be an error. So I'm gonna say length. And I'm gonna say length right here. I'm gonna return. Let's start small and let's try to fix it like that. All right, let's run the auto fixer. Oh, right, that's not gonna break it. Even if it doesn't break, we want to still fix the code. I'll just break it. Say loop. Bad there. No. Plus equals. Let's just flip this one right here. Pretty. Wait, no, you can do that. No, you can't assign it. Okay, cool. Nice. Now it's fixing the code. It'll probably, because it's a famous algorithm, it'll probably know what the algorithm is, which is interesting. Like, that's kind of a cool thing. All right, let's fix the code. Let's fix the code. Let's see. Fixing. I want to see what it looks like on Colab. Yeah, okay. Yep, fixed it. Nice. Okay. But it is fixing the code, which is nice. That's it. I just wanted to see if it would fix the code. Mistral. Okay, I gotta change these titles because I wound up using Code Llama. I like what you said, Will, about saying featured, where I'm like, building auto fixer. Let's see me make title. This is kind of over. Anyone got anything to say about what's gonna happen in 2024 for tech predictions? Let's see. Using Mistral to code. I'm gonna say Llama instead of Code Llama. Dang. Featuring a llama. I don't know. I'm just sometimes I could write titles for it. All right. It did fix it, kind of. That was fun. I do like. Okay, so I need to actually offline. I'm gonna make it pretty good to auto fix it because I need to do this in JavaScript. I need to like. It's good that it's getting the error. It's passing it up, but I need to have a feedback loop where it gives back a JSON with the solution, or it gives back a JSON that says it actually like actually no, it can always give back the solution, but it can execute it again and then throw an error. And once it gets the error, it just keeps feeding back into it. I can do that, but I need to execute this. I need to do this in HTML next. Is the next thing because I need to do it for a bigger project I have. My secret project that I was teasing on Friday. All right. See you guys.